what's up everyone? My name is Trevor and welcome to another tutorial. Today I'm going to be showing you how to add live effects to your microphone. I already made a tutorial on my channel how to do this, but I don't think it was as clear as I wanted it to be. There were some people that weren't able to quite figure out what exactly they were doing, and there were some inconsistencies with the results. So as a result, I will be making a new and updated guide, and that's what you're seeing right here. So the first thing you have to do, and some people complain that you have to download a lot of software, and really there's no way around that. If you want to add live effects to your microphone, that's what you have to do. If you don't want to use any software to accomplish that, you quite simply have to buy outboard gear, hardware. And that is really, really expensive, and most people are looking for software alternatives because they don't have to spend as much money. And in this example, you don't have to spend any money. We'll be using Reaper as our DAW here. So let's go ahead and open up our browser of choice, and there's a couple of things we're going to want to download. I don't actually need that. The first thing we're going to download, well, it doesn't really matter the order, but Reaper, which is our digital audio workstation of choice. And then we're going to download VB Audio, which is going to be doing our, it's going to be your audio output in this example. And then we're also going to want to download ASIO for all. So go ahead and download each of those respective things and install them. For VB Audio, you want to go to Audio Apps and scroll down. And there's Install VB Cable Virtual Audio Device. And then ASIO for all is pretty self-explanatory. And Reaper is a unlimited evaluation license, I believe. Once you have all of those downloaded and installed, it's very important you restart your computer because I do not believe the extra audio source that you've installed will work until you restart your computer. So go ahead and do that and then open up Reaper. Once you have Reaper opened up, go ahead and press Control-T or go to Track, Insert New Track. You'll want to kind of move this down a little bit so you have all the options out in the open there. The first thing you do is record arm this track by clicking on that little red button. You're going to right click on this right here and select monitor input. Right click on the little in arrow and go to record disable input monitoring only. Once that's finished, we have to go to our options, preference. Now this is really kind of the most important part of the tutorial here. If you aren't getting audio from this, it's because of the ASIO configuration pretty much. So this has to be set up properly. The problem with explaining this is that it's not the same for everyone. So you really do have to figure out kind of what your inputs and outputs are for your specific usage case scenario. So we're going to click, first of all, we're going to make sure our audio system is ASIO. The ASIO driver needs to be ASIO for all version 2, which we just installed. And we're going to go to ASIO configuration. Once you've done that, it'll look like this right here. You might have some more sources here. I've gone into my device manager and disabled sound sources that I don't use just to remove clutter here. But click on that wrench. And basically, you need to select your input. Your input is going to be your microphone in this case if you're trying to apply effects to your microphone. So if you use a sound card or if you use a audio interface, you're probably going to have it listed and then you're going to have a bunch of ins and outs for it. Whichever one your microphone is plugged into, you kind of need to figure that out and you need to select that one and only that one. If you have anything more than what you need to have selected in this, this menu here, it will not work because they will be competing over each other and it just won't work. The only output, the output should be the same for everyone, and that's going to be VB Audio Virtual Cable without selected. Basically, we're sending an audio signal to Reaper, tweaking it with effects, and then sending it out to VB Audio Virtual Cable. And so when you use an application like Open Broadcaster software or Skype or TeamSpeak or Mumble or whatever you're using, and you need to select your microphone in the options, instead of selecting your microphone, you'll be selecting VB Audio Virtual Cable because that is the source that has the altered signal from Reaper in this case. So make sure you have your input selected, make sure you have your output selected. Keep your buffer size at 512. If you try to lower it, you risk glitches and audio abnormalities that just sound really weird. It might cut out completely or just not work at all. So just There's going to be a little bit more delay at 512 samples, but it really is kind of more of a stability thing. If you have a really fast audio interface or sound card and you perform faster than that, then that's totally fine. Go ahead and lower it down there. So after that's finished, go ahead and press OK. All right, so we're now recording with the VB audio output. So what you're hearing is the signal that's being passed from a Reaper. So I'm going to show you a quick example of a couple things you can do just so you can see it in action. So when I press effects, the first thing I might apply would be some equalization. I might do a little bit of a low shelf here. Just to take out some of those lower frequencies, which, well, you know, sometimes you want to do. Most of the time, people probably don't. They want to have a nice, powerful, large, boomy voice. But if you're going kind of more for clarity and you want to be kind of above the noise, road noise or whatever, if you're doing podcasts, you might want to do a low shelf right there, or a high pass, whatever you want to call it. Another thing you could do is you could do some compression. So I'll add a compressor, actually. The one that comes with Reaper is called Recomp. It's there at the top. And you'll probably want to change your ratio to around 2 to 3 for voice. And you can kind of turn down the threshold there until it starts subtracting gain here and there in your peaks and stuff like that. And you could maybe use auto makeup if you wanted to, or not. You could just add a little bit of makeup gain there at the end. And maybe, you know, maybe you wanted to add a little more equalization. Maybe you wanted to add a little sheen at the ultra high end there. Just the, oops, not a high shelf. We want a band. Just add a little bit of extra brightness at the top end there. Maybe something like that. There's a lot of different things you can do. You mess around with it. It's really tough to give people a one-size-fits-all equation for this, just because everyone's voice is different. So everyone's gonna, you know, need or not need different types of EQ and effects. But I'm gonna turn off these effects so it doesn't sound like that, because I already have a little bit added already to my Symmetrix 528E. That's just a basic example. I'll go into more depth in some other tutorials for this stuff. Anyway, I hope you guys enjoyed, and I'll catch you later.